So as you can see, I've gone for a nature walk, and on my way I've just seen a tree. This one, it is called the Acacia drepanolobium, and in our local language we call it elwai, but for the local people they call it the whistling acacia. The whistling acacia. Why do they call it the whistling acacia? They call it the whistling acacia because this tree usually whistles when it is being blown by wind. It whistles. So it whistles because inside it you'll find it has some holes, but for this one it does not have a holes. Let me if you can see, let me zoom for you. You can see that, you see the ants. The role of these ants in this tree just to bore holes on this the Acacia drepanolobium, and after it has some holes on it, then when the wind blows into those holes you're going to hear a sound like a whistle. So that's why it's called the whistling acacia. Hey, you can see this, and these are ants, and I've just touched the tree, and so I've just paused because some ants they were attacking me, then I've just moved it. So this is the whistling acacia. You can see it in local language you call it elwai. So these are the balls, but for this tree you can see it is still developing, and these balls they are young, but for this one it has started to mature. You can see for the matured one they usually black, but for this one, for the still young, it is gray. This one they have already matured, and you can see they are black, the balls, and you can see it has thorns or the hooks on it. It looks like the a head of a cow. You can see the ants. This one, these are the ants that usually stay inside the balls of this Acacia drepanolobium. And let me show you the other side of this tree. The tree is still growing. You can see the other one there outside, they are down. It is still growing, this tree, the Acacia drepanolobium. So for this tree, it is being consumed majorly by the goats. For cows, it is very rare to find the cows eating this type of a tree, but mostly the goats usually consume it because these leaves, they are very nutritious. That's why most of the livestock don't like it, because you know that the cow usually have the tongue, and the tongue usually rough, and for the cow, first the tongue, it will just grasp the grass mostly, but for the goats they usually select only the nutritious parts or of these leaves. That's why you'll find that most of the goats, they like this type of a tree. So that is the Acacia drepanolobium, and on my side you can see that tree. Let me go closer to it so that I can show you. This tree, some scientists call it Acacia xanthophloea, or in the local language they call it the acacia fever. Why is it called the fever tree? It's called the fever tree because fever is one symptoms of malaria, whereby just most people that they suffer from fever, and one of the symptoms of malaria is fever, and this tree usually grows in areas where there's a lot of water, and mosquito like those places where there's a lot of water, or the swampy areas, so whereby the mosquito usually like it. So this is the Acacia xanthophloea. You can see this is the yellow fever tree. It has thorns, and also the leaves. Let me show you the leaves of this type of a tree. This one, the leaves, they are young, they're still developing. You can see the thorns. So this tree it has some uses, because if you find a straight pole like this one, a straight pole, you can either use for the making of the walking sticks, or even you can use the small branch for making of either the poles that are being used during the construction. And apart from that, the straight poles or the bigger one, you can either use as timber for the construction of the local houses. But for the construction of the permanent houses, not recommendable. If you want timber, you can go and having the grey robusta tree, which has usually have a good timber. So this is the acacia, the yellow fever tree. And apart from that, the yellow fever tree, it has good firewood. The dry one, the dry branches, or even when the whole tree is dry, you can use it to make the either charcoal. You can sell to earn an income, or even the firewood, which is being used for cooking. So I think I've just talked a bit concerning this type of a tree. So if you go, because now I'm going there within the river source, I'm going to show you the Acacia liata, or the river line acacia, which they look similar, or within the acacia, but the only difference with them, with that tree, is that the hooks for that, if you see the hooks of the Acacia xanthophloea, they are very thin. But for the Acacia aeliata, the thorns, they're usually thick and broad. So thank you, and let me prepare some videos concerning such trees. I'm on my way to that river so that I can show you. See that the tree, I've already talked about it. Yeah.